Let's go, Arkansas fans. Is this the end of the Talon Green era? Holy crap. How bad really was this game? So we start off here on a positive note because Mike Washington continues the long line of really good Arkansas Razorback running backs. And obviously, he's gone one-on-one against arguably the best safety in the SEC. And Michael Taft does eventually bring him down, but some really good blocking to get this going. 3rd and 9. I do not like this from Bobby Petrino. He puts a lot of faith here in Taylen Green, but one thing I don't put a lot of faith in is your right tackle from Arkansas going one-on-one against the most talented pass rusher in the SEC and Colin Simmons. I just do not like this one-on-one with a right tackle going up against a player of this caliber. And it's one-on-ones across the way, right? You bring this guy up. It's an empty protection because Mike Washington goes out on a pass or on a route. He's got to come over here and chip and help. This starts off with a good rep, and the protection here is actually fine. But I just don't like living with that this early in the game. This looks open. It really wasn't all that open, and now we're in a lot of trouble. So Talon does this patented thing where he spins out 50 yards backwards, and you could see he almost gets shoestrung there, and he's able to turn the corner and avoid the true disaster play, and you're still able to make the field goal, but ugh. So one bad thing about Talon in this game is that the passes that were thrown and completed were mostly really nasty play designs. And once again, it's Bobby using his tight ends. Okay, Platt, the transfer from A&M, and then you have Jones right here. So you have Jones faking like he blocks, and then he goes into the flats. So then this safety comes in to guard Jones in the flat, and then you're running a corner from the other tight end right there. Okay, really sexy play calling right there from Bobby Petrino, and you can see that this throw is not the absolute best, but it just needs to get there in this spot, and Platt is able to run after the catch. So really good stuff. And then, of course, Talon Green, probably one of the best zone read pullers I have ever seen in the Southeastern Conference. You have Jones running out here. The linebacker has to run with him, and now you're getting Talon straight vertical. You can't really do it that much better than that. And there you go. Look at Talon go, boy. So 3rd and 8. Once again, Arkansas is in empty. Just a dangerous proposition to be rushing Colin Simmons one-on-one. It eventually does burn them a little bit later in the game. But still, Taylen Green steps up, 2 hands on the football. And Burke, while he's being brought down, is still able to make that big throw right there to Omega Blake. And then we get to this from Mike Washington. Kind of sucks that he actually has lived up to the hype. I know. The Memphis fumble, it is what it is. But this is not poorly played right here from Burke at all. This is really good stuff. Pressing and then bouncing, right? So Burke gets a little too tight, and he can't disengage from that block right there to make the play on Mike. And now he's got nasty intentions. Boom! Knocks Taft all the way back to Fordyce, baby. And look at this finish. Mike Washington. Are you kidding me? 2nd and 10, and up to this point, Talon isn't playing the worst. He's not playing outstanding either. This is good stuff, okay? You see your slot receiver has a really good option. Inbreaker right here. Good stuff. Once again, this ball could have been delivered a half second sooner. It's just one thing about Talon. It's always just a happy late, and this also is better from Talon. This used to be a lot more elongated, but because he's so tall, he's able to get it over the defensive lineman, and look at that throw. Good offense right there. I can't get over how good of a play call this actually is. So these two teams are probably the best teams in the SEC alongside Georgia at running these kinds of heavy, longer developing misdirection plays where eventually it is thrown to a leaking running back or a tight end. So you have a vertical here, and then you have a running back running right behind it. So if I'm the defender, I am guessing in this situation that the leaker that I really need to guard is the running back. So you roll out heavy to the right and you throw it back to the left. Okay, so Colin Simmons sees it, as do a few other defenders. You can see that Talon looks to the left, all right? And normally on this play, you have this guy leaking to the left, and then you have a tight end coming around and leaking all the way here to the left as well. The difference of this one is the tight end actually leaks towards the middle. Okay, so once again, Rohan Jones, he's been the sleight of hand tight end this year for Arkansas. He waits, and then he goes central, right? He sells like he might be going here, and then he's going up the field vertically. It really is a nasty design, and guess what? Talon's able to put it right on the money. Boom. Okay? Really, really, really good work. 3rd and 5, and I understand that Bobby likes to be in empty quite a bit on 3rd down. I just wouldn't have done this, especially considering last year when you played this game versus Texas. And once again, players change and all of that, but it's still the same DC versus the same offensive brain power minus Sam. And the biggest problem Arkansas had, and it's the reason why they could not actually pull the upset off versus Texas, is that they had trouble communicating these offensive line assignments. So you can see here that Texas has a 6-on-5. Okay, if there's ever a 6-on-5, the one thing you don't want to do is allow the interior guy to go. Okay, so if he goes through the B gap, we need the tackle to block down, guard block down if he's going through the A gap. It just needs to get sorted out where these guys are not coming untouched. The ones that we want coming untouched are the edge guys, okay? Guess what? It does not get sorted out. All right, the guard blocks down on the DT, and this linebacker is untouched, okay? Now, I would be fine with that if there was a little slant or something like that being run behind it, but right here on a 6v5, I don't want to run a switch vertical. That is a longer developing play right here, okay? So what happens is the in blocks, comes back out, and he's shielding basically all different types of in-breakers here. And this is just a disastrous play. It's a longer developing switch-ish vertical. And, yeah, I mean, that's not really there. He can't throw it. There's a guy right there in his face. So it's not the best offensive play call in the world, and Talon does the smart thing and just throw this bad boy away. So Arkansas gets bailed out with a holding call. And, well, this is just a really easy zone read pull right here by Talon, and is very clearly crashing down or playing this really tight to the vest. And there you go. It's just easy work, and Talon's able to walk in and score a patented Taylen Green zone read pull tutty. And this is absolutely nasty, nasty, nasty work. You get a little lucky that you're running into the perfect look for this play to work. You have a backer to the play side, blitzing to the inside. So he takes himself out of the play. The key thing here is to just seal this defensive end. And obviously you have the option to pitch. And there you go. Talon Green is able to run this bad boy. And once again, you're going up against one of the better safeties. Can you make a miss? You can. Okay, really, really, really good stuff. And this guy was such an issue for Texas, or for Arkansas all game, Burke. Alrighty, so Arkansas elects to go back to this option play, but this time it's just a pure option, right? There was a little pirouette mixed in there, and this was a terrible read by Talon Green. Oh my goodness gracious, okay? Obviously, when you run the option, I prefer my quarterbacks when they run it to run it directly to the defender, okay? We want to be getting as vertical as we possibly can on this option to really put pressure on this guy. But you could see Talon, this should have been, hey, I'm running directly at you, and if you come to tackle me, I'm going to pitch it, okay? But now you're pitching this, and you're allowing 18 to play both you and the RB right there, and now your receiver doesn't block this well at all. He catches it, He's going up against a safety, and that's just horrendous blocking right there by, I think, 3. And that's just terrible, okay? But the bottom line is, before we actually show you the result of this play, this should have been just run up right into this alley. And if this guy comes at you, you then pitch it, and then you'll have even more space to operate right here. And this terrible block is saved, okay? So I think Taylen could have done more with this. It's just really bad execution, and play call is fine, and now it's a big loss. All right, you get some elite route running. Let's start from the slot wide receiver who's matched up here versus a safety. This is Raylan Sharp. Nasty work right there. Oh, boy. That's really, really, really good stuff. Okay, in hindsight, obviously, you would have preferred to have thrown that. But this also isn't bad from Taylen. You work the backside dig. You start off looking to the left. And then Rohan Jones, the tight end, I think he's going to play in the league. Just really, really, really good stuff right there from Rohan. Boom, able to get a big throw and a nice, nice, nice catch, and you're able to get the first down. Okay, good stuff. If there was a read attached to it, okay, I'm probably pulling this. Once again, I would need my end zone copy to really see if this should have been a pull. I don't know. It's close. It doesn't help that your guys just get absolutely mauled here on the right side. This is just nasty work. That's nasty work to put the guard on his rear end like that. And then obviously Colin Simmons is going to take care of business there. Ugh. Does this look really bad? Yes, it looks really, really, really bad. But you're down by 11, 3rd and 3, going up against a home state school, and you're just trying to make something happen here. I understand what he was trying to do. He's probably thinking, hey, Rohan Jones is somewhere there. But this is arguably the ugliest INT I've seen a quarterback throw. Okay? I do think part of this is that Taylen's trying to just flick it right here, and the ball just kind of gets glazed, if you will. And it just kind of pops up randomly there. But, ugh. And you can see it from this angle as well. Let's see if that is what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. This isn't a throw. All right. So I don't think this is all too bad. Okay. It's now that I've looked at this and Zaprudered it from so many different angles. Okay. He's trying to just flip this football to Rohan Jones, and his arm gets hit, and that causes it to ricochet up in the air. But you don't see that angle. Okay. So this isn't all too bad, but that bounce is basically, what Arkansas football in a nutshell right there. Ugh. So will Bobby start KJ Jackson in the final game versus Missouri? I feel bad for Taylen. Got a little bit of a bloody knee mixed in there. Still wild that, I don't even know if this is true or not, but I did read this from a reputable reporter that Arkansas still has a positive point differential on this season despite being 2-9, which is just ridiculous. That means you're the best 2-9 team of all time, which is probably the most Arkansas stat of all time. But, one thing I want to say before, criticizing Taylen here at the end is that it's really hard to win games when you're going up against a Heisman Trophy quarterback every week. And that's pretty much what the Arkansas defense has done. There's so many quarterbacks that you guys have played this year where the opposing team's QB had their best, if not second best, game. And, Arch was just throwing to wide open deep guys all game long. There was even some drops mixed in there as well. So it's tough to play the quarterback position when you need to be perfect at all times. But the truth is, can't turn the football over. Taylen, 2 touchdowns and 6 or 7 interceptions in his last 4-ish games. This game in particular wasn't as worse. The QBRs even back that up. But, man, it's just not great either. And there is a piece of me that kind of wants to see what KJ Jackson has as a starter in this final week. I also think Bobby's a little open to it. He spoke glowingly about KJ at times. But, man, dude, it's just tough watching all of this unfold. So comment below your thoughts. I have a lot of respect for Talon. But, man, it is Power Hour SEC. Boom. Tonight We're doing Cajun turkey.